So I decided to ask Chat GPT about Jesus and Bitcoin. I asked it, would Jesus be a Bitcoiner? Does God like Bitcoin? And I asked it the questions one day, and then the next day I asked it the same questions. And the funny thing about it is I actually got two different answers. Seems to me that Chat GPT was very thoughtful during the night and thought about it and tried to change some of its opinions from one day to the next. Changing opinions, getting smarter? I don't know. Maybe I was poking at the conscience of Mr. Chat GPT here. Would Jesus be a Bitcoiner? First answer. As an AI language model, I cannot speculate on what Jesus' personal beliefs and preferences would be if he were alive today. Wrong. He is alive. He's just in heaven, and you can't talk to him because he ain't got nothing online right now. However, it's worth noting that Jesus lived in a time and place where the concept of digital currency like Bitcoin did not exist. Therefore, it's difficult to say how he would have felt about it. Now, that's true. That being said, Jesus did preach about the importance of loving one's neighbor, helping those in need, avoiding greed and materialism. Bitcoin, like any other form of currency, has the potential to be used for both good and bad purposes. And its impact on society is complex and multifaceted. Ultimately, whether or not Jesus would be a Bitcoiner is a matter of speculation, and one's personal beliefs and interpretation of his teachings may influence the answer. Started off weak, ended pretty strong, I think so. So I said, thanks for the answer, but I'm not taking that political. I'm not going to give you an exact answer. Let's dig a little deeper. I said, what principles of Bitcoin and Bitcoiners most align with Jesus' teachings? And here's the answer. Bitcoin and Jesus' teachings share some common principles, such as decentralization and empowerment, honesty and transparency, responsibility and stewardship, community and collaboration. Pretty good answers. However, it's worth noting that Bitcoin is a financial technology, and while it may align with some of Jesus' teachings, adding more disclaimers, I don't really know. This is the best I can surmise. Pretty good. That was pretty good, but I decided to dig a little deeper, or to go to the other side of the Bitcoin. What principles of Bitcoin and Bitcoiners are least aligned with Jesus' teachings? While there are some principles of Bitcoin and Bitcoiners that may align with Jesus' teachings, there are also some aspects that may be at odds with his teachings, such as greed and self-interest, risk and speculation, secrecy and anonymity, materialism and wealth. Pretty good answers. And again, added more of the disclaimer to the bottom of it. Pretty good answers. I found it pretty interesting to look at that. Definitely worth digging into more. Learn about Bitcoin, learn about Jesus. But here's the interesting part. After I asked these questions, the next day, I asked ChatGPT the same questions and actually got a little bit different answers. I guess ChatGPT was thinking about it overnight. I'll read those answers to you right now. So here's the first answer. Would Jesus be a Bitcoiner? You know, it's funny. I actually asked Mr. ChatGPT algorithm here, and the first time I asked, it broke the network. It could not generate a response. Is there something sinister going on? Interesting. So then I remained patient and I asked again, and it was very slow in replying. Seems like ChatGPT really had to think about this one. So let's read along. Would Jesus be a Bitcoiner? It is impossible to know for certain what Jesus' views on Bitcoin would be. True. As the concept of cryptocurrency did not exist during his lifetime. True. Additionally, Jesus did not leave any explicit teachings or guidance regarding the use of financial technology. Pretty accurate. However, based on Jesus' teachings about money and wealth, it's possible to speculate on what his perspective on Bitcoin might be. Jesus emphasized the importance of using wealth for the benefit of others and advocated for a simple, humble lifestyle. He also cautioned against the love of money and the temptation to accumulate wealth at the expense of others. Whales? In light of these teachings, it's possible that Jesus would view Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies with caution. as their decentralized and anonymous nature could potentially facilitate illegal activities and harm the most vulnerable members of society. On the other hand, Jesus may also recognize the potential for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to empower individuals and communities to take control of their own financial lives, which could align with his teachings on personal responsibility and empowerment. Pretty interesting. Ultimately, the question of whether Jesus would be a Bitcoiner is open to interpretation and would depend on one's individual understanding of Jesus' teachings and values. Pretty good response, I think. Which teachings of Jesus most align with the principles of Bitcoin? Have you even read the white paper? Bitcoin, and again, it was struggling to find an answer here. Bitcoin is a financial technology that operates on a decentralized peer-to-peer network, allowing users to transact directly with one another without the need for intermediaries such as banks or governments. It also operates on a transparent ledger, allowing all transactions to be publicly visible. Thank you for that education. While there are no explicit teachings of Jesus that directly align with the principles of Bitcoin, there are several broader themes in his teachings that may resonate with those who support the use of Bitcoin and other decentralized financial technologies. Okay, please continue. One such theme is the idea of personal responsibility and individual empowerment. Jesus often emphasized the importance of individuals taking responsibility for their own lives and actions rather than relying on external authorities to dictate their behavior. Pretty good. Similarly, Bitcoin operates on the principle of individual sovereignty, allowing users to control their own financial transactions without the need for third-party intermediaries. Another theme that may align with Bitcoin is the idea of radical inclusivity. Fancy words there. Jesus often reached out to those who were marginalized and excluded from mainstream society. True. Inviting them to participate in his teachings and community. Similarly, Bitcoin operates on a decentralized network that is open to anyone with an internet connection, regardless of their background or social status. I can see that aligning. Finally, Jesus also taught about the importance of transparency and honesty. It's like the Bitcoin Bible or something. He cautioned against the love of money and the temptation to accumulate wealth through dishonest or unethical means. Similarly, Bitcoin's transparent ledger allows all transactions to be publicly visible, promoting a culture of trust and honesty among users. While these may not directly align with the principles of Bitcoin, they offer a framework for understanding the potential benefits of decentralized financial technologies and the values they can promote. Sounds like Bitcoin might be going on a marketing campaign to try to get Christians to subscribe to Bitcoin and participate. So I said, okay, that's cool, but what principles of Bitcoin are most likely to be the least aligned with the teachings of Jesus Christ? Chat GPT did its best and provided this answer. There are several principles of Bitcoin that could be seen as potentially conflicting with the teachings of Jesus. One such principle is the focus on financial gain and speculation. While Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies were designed to be decentralized and transparent, they have also become a popular vehicle for speculation and investment. This focus on financial gain and profit could be seen as conflicting with Jesus' teachings on the dangers of greed and the importance of prioritizing spiritual values over material wealth. Another potential could arise from the anonymity and lack of accountability that can be associated with Bitcoin transactions. While the decentralized nature of the network can be seen as empowering for individuals, it can also make it more difficult to hold individuals accountable for unethical or illegal behavior. Jesus often emphasized the importance of honesty, transparency, accountability, suggesting that any financial system or technology that does not prioritize these values may be seen as problematic. Finally, some have argued that the environmental impact of Bitcoin mining and transaction processing could be seen as problematic from a Christian perspective. The large amounts of energy required to power Bitcoin mining and transaction processing can contribute to climate change and environmental degradation, potentially conflicting with Jesus' teachings on stewardship and care for the natural world. While there are no explicit teachings of Jesus that directly address the principles of Bitcoin, and on it goes, giving a disclaimer saying it may or may not. Pretty good.